What's up, everybody? Lexicon here, and joining me as always is Lee. Lee, we just got done watching SuperCard of Honor 7. Was it a very super card in your opinion?
I'm happy with the results. I called the results.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
so I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
better now.
Um, we'll explain that in just a bit here, but one of the things is some interesting things did happen at the end of this pay-per-view. And of course, if you haven't watched the pay-per-view yet and you don't want spoilers, I don't even know why you're here because that's what we advertised it for. But go away if you don't want spoilers. So basically, something shocked me, and that was the ending. Jay Briscoe becoming the new Ring of Honor World Champion. And it shocked me even more because I didn't get to see the actual pinfall.
I don't know what you all shocked for. I've been saying this for months. I don't
I'll
even know why you
explain.
shocked.
I'll explain. But yeah, the ending just cut out, and we tried to refresh. Nothing happened. So it was really like less than 5 minutes that the pay-per-view cut out. But it was like the most important 5 minutes of the pay-per-view. So it was, I don't know how Ring of Honor caught this bad luck, but I don't know what happened. I don't know if they're gonna rectify the situation at all. But it was just weird because all of a sudden, screen pops back up and there's Briscoe celebrating with Jethro in the ring, and here comes Papa Briscoe over the railing, and I'm like, oh shit, something happened. And just to explain to you, if you don't understand it, to explain the magnitude, the importance of what just happened, the last time the Ring of Honor World Championship changed hands was a month shy of a year ago at Border Wars when Kevin Steen beat Davey Richards for the title.
And the
So,
same thing happened at that pay-per-view.
well, yeah, maybe it was just coincidence. I don't know, but yeah. So Jay Briscoe, for the first time ever, he's been with Ring of Honor since day one, as everybody knows from the famous promos. He's finally Ring of Honor World Champion, and what shocked me about it was that he has an injury, and I wouldn't be shocked if he didn't have that injury. I think because
I never believed he had it.
it might be a work, and I didn't see any evidence to say it wasn't, but I don't know. You tend to believe Jay Briscoe when he speaks a certain way, and to me, he was just speaking like he spoke when he cut the cosmetically pleasing promo. It just felt real, but that just might be Jay Briscoe, doing what he does. So he's Ring of Honor World Champion. Kevin Steen's not. Now, obviously Kevin Steen. The whole story is Kevin Steen is not aligned with Scum. How much longer does it take for Steen to be completely out of Scum now that he's not the world champion? Now that he doesn't have the same value as he once did for Scum?
Next month, and when he goes home to his hometown,
Oh, that's right.
that's when it happens. I kind of saw all this happening. Let me tell you, I don't ever believe Jay Briscoe was injured. Well, I can't say that. I don't think that he was injured as bad as he said. The reason being is because I really doubt that if his injury was as bad as they said, he would not even have been in the match. If it was okay, if he does this, he could seriously end his career. He wouldn't have did that match. He wouldn't have did it. They wouldn't have had him did it. They would have postponed this and had him fight somebody else. And everyone would have understood the reason why. I knew that in order for Scum to, I could just pretty much see the handwriting on the wall. I was like, Jay Briscoe's going to win. Kevin Steen's going to congratulate him. The only part I didn't get right was the part of them turning on him at this pay-per-view. But I think all that's going to happen in Border Wars, so he can get that nice, strong face reaction that they want. And just like before, I knew that it had to be Jay Briscoe. I couldn't see anybody else on the roster. Not even Michael Elgin at this point, because Kevin Steen is so over. Could have won in New York. Jay Briscoe is the only one that could have won in New York. Michael Elgin could have won in Canada next month. He could have won at Chicago, anywhere else, but not New York. So Jay Briscoe was definitely the one. And I'm trying to figure out who he's going to wrestle next month because Kevin Steen's already booked in a match. And unless they plan on switching it where Adam Cole fights the champion now, Jay Briscoe's got to fight somebody, and more than likely it's going to be somebody from Scum, I'm guessing, or they're going to go ahead and give Michael Elgin his title shot in Canada, which, I mean, if he could possibly win there because he's from Canada, it would kind of suck for Jay Briscoe to have a month reign, though.
Yeah, that's what
If
I
that's the
guess.
case,
I'm sorry. I guess that was my next question. Was how long is his reign? How long should it be, and how long do you think it'll actually be?
it should be a pretty decent reign. I mean, it should be pretty decent. Nowhere near. I don't think it's going to be as long as Kevin Steen's, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'll be the first to say Kevin Steen, to me, as far as I just kind of feel like I was, of all people, since this show started, I was excited when Kevin Steen was chasing it, and then when he won it, and I just kind of felt like shorted when things didn't turn out the way that they had built it to be. Now that's happening, but now they're trying to turn him face. All this could have happened when he was a heel, but it didn't take place that way. So at this point, they kind of lost me, and just looking at it now, I went on Facebook and I saw where a couple of people were kind of bitching. They were like, same thing happened with Punk. They're doing it to Kevin Steen. A person can't be a champion forever. In today's time, to have the belt that long that's quite a feat, because that doesn't happen too often in today's time. I mean, Davey had it for a pretty decent time.
Right.
They weren't running pay-per-views as long as they, as often as they are now. Kevin Steen's had a lot of defenses. He did a good job as world champion. I just think his time was up.
Two problems I have with the title change is, it's one, we didn't get. I don't think we got a proper build up for Jay. And
I
I don't think it would have taken much more though. I think maybe another month, and they had a terrific video that they showed during intermission about. It was all about Jay in title matches and world title matches and all the world title matches he's lost. It was a very long video, but it was still a good video that kind of told everybody this is where Jay's been. This is why even with a hurt shoulder, he might win the title because he has that hunger. He needs it. We still got the video and everything, which is cool, but it just feels really rushed, which again, I don't mind so much. Like, I don't hate this because I like when things like this happen in wrestling and it's like out of nowhere and it shocks you, and it's not. This isn't being shocking just to shock people. This is shocking in a way that kind of tells the story of, okay, well now Ring of Honor has the power because they have the world title belt. They have. It seems like they have control now because they have.
It's just another thing, Lex. I'm sorry, I mean cut you off. It just hit me. That's another thing because Scum just kind of last month got control. I mean, they had the world championship, but they really they become a threat last month. So I would have, I mean, and it's not just because I'm going. I just kind of feel like that they could have had a proper build. They could have had, some would have been more of a threat if they had dragged it out till Best in the World.
And another thing to think about is essentially a one-armed man just beat Kevin Steen after this dominant title reign. And I can't speak on it too much because, again, I didn't see the ending of the match, and I was actually messing with our audio settings, so I didn't really get to see the match in full either. So I'm going to have to go back. I'm definitely going to go back and watch that one and the American Wolves vs. Red Dragon. But those are my instant reactions at the moment. I'm very happy for Jay, though, because I think he deserves it. I think he will be a good champion, even if it is a 1 month, 2 month reign. He's exciting. People love him. And I think people are going to be interested in the product again. Maybe not to the level they were when Kevin won it, but, Jay does a lot. Like you said, the New York crowd loved it. They ate it up. You guys in Baltimore, when he comes as a champion, if he's still champion by then, you guys are going to eat it up, too.
He's got to be. If he isn't, that'd be kind of screwed up. But, I mean, the thing is with I think earlier on in the match, they really, you could see Kevin Steen working the arm and everything. Yeah. And I think as the match progressed, they really didn't touch on it as much as they did early on. They did, but not as much as they did earlier. I mean, because he was doing some stuff he shouldn't have been able to do if he was injured.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just certain things. I mean, I just look at some of the moves he was executing as well as some of the stuff he was taking. I mean, he shouldn't have been doing it if he was truly injured to that degree. So I really don't buy it. But I agree with you. Storyline wise, if he was storyline injured, Kevin Steen got beat by a one-armed man. But I mean, we've seen stuff like this happen before. So,
Right.
and like I said, Best in the World probably would have been a place that they really could have built it up. Because I agree. They really didn't have the build-up. It was like Jay Briscoe had made comments back at that National Pro Wrestling Day that they didn't even touch on until really this build-up just went 1 month from the last pay-per-view.
Right.
I mean, they had the TV tapings, and if we hadn't got the spoilers, we would have and just watched it on TV. It would have. I mean, the main promo that those guys had in the ring just happened last week.
Yeah, I haven't seen that episode yet. Yeah, I haven't seen that episode.
Yeah, so it just happened yesterday.
And so I mean, like I said, they played it on the show. So if you're watching the show, I mean, it caught you up pretty good. But the problem is there was more build-up in this one show tonight than there had been the previous month, which is crazy to me. Again, though, I don't think it's a bad thing that Jay won the title. I wouldn't say that, it's the end of Ring of Honor and they're just giving Jay the title to give him the title and, have that be that. I don't think that way at all. And I know there's going to be people that say that because I'm looking at the message boards for one site and it's pretty much saying that, the people can't stand it. But regardless, it's still going to be.
I don't think they would have liked whoever beat him. I think those individuals wouldn't have liked anyone who beat Kevin Steen because there's no one left.
Yeah, there's a good chance. I couldn't think of anybody off the top of my head that they'd be okay with. Yeah, without proper build, no. Maybe Elgin, maybe, but even then there'd be people who say
Elgin's gonna get his time. I just don't think Elgin would have. Even Elgin coming out, Elgin had a good match tonight, but Elgin coming out, he's a good wrestler. He's going to be world champion.
Yeah, out of the matches
New York
I saw,
was just not the place.
Out of the matches
I don't think that they would have.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying,
go ahead.
Out of the matches that I saw tonight, that I fully saw, and again, the last two I didn't fully see, Elgin had match of the night, and that's, again, with Jay Lethal. So Jay and him had the match of the night. And whatever it is, I think I've said this on the show before, if Elgin's going to win the championship, just clear the calendar, because he needs to hold that belt for a very long time. Because that's his gimmick. That he's a powerhouse, he's a tank, etc., etc. So hopefully
I think it's things they got to fine tune with him. I mean, I want to see when I see him do it. See, that's the thing with Jay Lethal. Jay Lethal can go out there by himself. We were talking about this while we were chatting doing the thing. With Elgin, like you said, he's powerhouse. I'm not gonna say have him hold the belt like longer than Kevin Steen. I mean, I'm just being real. I mean, unless they do something where you spoke of it earlier, which sounds perfect, have somebody be the mouthpiece and he just be quiet.
He doesn't need to say a word at all. There's no reason for him. There's no reason for him to talk. But I posted a promo that he cut for this event, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't a bad promo at all. I think people had the misconception that he can't talk because he's a big guy. But at the same time...
No, I don't think it's because he's a big guy. He's more believable when he's quiet.
Yeah, I mean, the character can be silent and still be deadly, and be even more mysterious than he is now. Like I said, he used to come out with that mask, and it was like the mask that was attached to his vest and everything, and it kind of looked cheap. But if he got something a little bit more serious than that, who used to come out with that? I think Eric Stevens used to come out with that when he was bigger. He used to come out with like, oh no, not Eric Stevens, Brent Albright. He used to come out with like a mask on, and he'd take it off when he gets to the ring. It's just that
I can't see him doing that as a face though.
I can't. I mean, but the thing is, he doesn't have to be like super. He can be that face that people like. He doesn't do good. He doesn't do bad. Really, he just wrestles. He just goes out and he beats people.
It's too late. They already turned him into a good guy.
That could be undone though.
Remember, they did that when he left the House of Truth and he was shaking hands and doing Code of Honor stuff. I mean, he's full-fledged face. He's not tweener, so him having that mask is like, I'm gonna kill you when I take this off. It's the equivalent of like Sabu taking off the straight jacket, or who else? Who else was? I don't know if it's Sabu. Who used to do the
Well,
straight jacket thing? Was that Mick Foley or whatever? I don't know, but
but
it's
Muda
like, okay, once this comes off, you said Muda what?
Muda in Japan, he's face, and he comes down to the ring with a mask and everything like that, and he helps the good guys, and he's still, I'm not
Yeah,
comparing
that's
Muda
Japan.
to Elga, but Ring of Honor is Japanese style for the most part. In fact, that crowd tonight,
Not like it used to be.
that crowd tonight, it really reminded me of a Japanese crowd, except for like a couple of idiots that were doing their thing. But I mean, they were politely clapping for moves and stuff like that. And the past few New York crowds have been just nuts. There's no clapping. It would be just mainly shitting on whoever is in there. But
Well, you know
anyway.
why? Everybody there was in New York.
Yeah, because it's different people because of WrestleMania. Bringing in the different crowd and everything. So I'm very interested to see what kind of crowd shows up tomorrow for the TV tapings, especially now with the news that Jay is the new champion. I wonder if more people will show up then. I think they're doing the TV taping in the Manhattan Center. Excuse me, the what is it called? The one they used to shoot Raw in. So
what's it called?
they were in the Hammerstein tonight, and they were in. I forget what it's called, but
I know what you're talking about.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's like a floor above or whatever. So they're gonna be in that. It's gonna look a bit different. It's gonna look probably like the old ECW TV tapings and everything like that they used to do. But let's run down the rest of the card right now. ACH and Tadarius Thomas defeated QT Marshall and his mystery opponent, which turned out to be R.D. Evans. A lot of talking to open this up, and I know you said while we were chatting there's too much talking going on after this in the next segment. First off, do you think this was perfect that Evans was the guy, or would you have preferred someone come in from Japan like they were saying or whatever?
I'm okay with it. I mean, if he wanted to, I mean, he did a good job of using the social media to tease it and everything. And like the crowd obviously was happy. They always wanted to see him in the ring. I was not, disappointed either way. I was okay because I really we couldn't pinpoint who we thought it was going to be to begin with. And but I guess the thing is that he just dragged it on for way too long. I mean, the last pay-per-view they had, they came out and they had a very fast-paced match going on, got everybody pumped up, ready to go. I mean, it was just like they jumped right in. And this was more of a cold type thing where, they came out first and he just talked to the point where they got people saying they wanted wrestling. So
Yeah.
by the time, they realized it was him, he took you noticed it first. I didn't even notice. You were like, he got his boots on. I was like, it's got to be him at that point. I mean, he did a good job playing with people, but nobody seemed disappointed in it. He brought a little Shakara type comedy to the match. They were okay.
The crowd was shitting on it to start with. They didn't want to hear talking. They wanted to see wrestling. They didn't want to hear RD talking. RD made a couple of jokes and tried to get a reaction, but they kind of fell flat. And then I noticed the white boots, and I was like, whoa, those are some weird-looking shoes. And, he's got some weird-looking wrestling boots to begin with. But, yeah, that was him. I kind of figured it would be him anyway. I was on one end of the spectrum or the other. I thought it was either going to be RD or it's going to be someone crazy like Loki. And unfortunately,
I remember you said that.
Yeah, because they actually used Loki's cutout for the mystery opponent, and Loki was not on the card for the New Japan results that happened last night. So I thought maybe there's a possibility that it could be him. But it was RD, and I'm fine with that. Again, if Loki showed up, that would be nuts, and it would be cool, but I was expecting one of RD's characters. I didn't think it was just going to be RD himself. I thought he was going to come out like the mysterious handsome stranger, or whatever he calls himself, or mixed martial Archie.
It would have been cool if he, that would have been nice. You know what? I think that if he had never said, what threw me off, I never commented on before. I was just like, okay, it's probably going to be R.D. Evans. But then when you had told me about the whole thing with his tweet, you had posted about his tweet.
Yeah.
I was like, well, damn, he's really going to get somebody. And that's at the point my mind just went way out. What I thought is exactly what he wanted people to think. So it worked for me anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. It was. It actually ended up being a very entertaining opening match, and ACH and Tadarius Thomas so far looking really good as a tag team. They'll rise up the rankings, probably even past CNC here pretty soon, which kind of sucks because CNC, they've paid their dues for quite some time now, and I think they've gotten a few, one or two title matches. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it just ACH is blowing up everywhere. He goes.
He is.
Everywhere, they love him, and for good reason. Dude is just electric, and he's all over the place doing crazy shit, and you know, TD has his own thing, which, you know, I've said before, I kind of think is a little too much, but you know what, ever since he's gotten in the tag team with ACH, I think it's evened out. Like, ACH evens him out with his capoeira stuff. But
yeah, you don't see him do as much. Like, you even see him do a little bit more. I mean, I wanted to ask you this too, because you commented. How do you feel about like the same thing they did with CNC? They did with Tommaso. We thought for sure he was going to at least get a opportunity with a TV title, and they completely just put it on Roddy. And then the whole thing with CNC, and now Elgin still got a TV title shot that he won in that match with Davey Richards, Roger Strong, and Matt Hardy. And then now ACH has a TV title shot that I think he's getting tomorrow night, but I'm not sure.
He is, yeah.
So, and then Taven just got it. So I'm just wondering what they're going to do as far as, like, these shots. Are they just going to,
I think,
you know, are they going to give it to these people?
I think a lot of it has to do with what we saw tonight with Taven. I think Taven's going to get a few more that just squeak by. You know what I mean? Like, he'll beat Elgin, he'll beat ACH, and he's just going to squeak by on these. Which is fine, because that's his character, and he's in the House of Truth. It all makes sense. It's working. And we'll get to that a little bit later about the antics of the House of Truth really took away from that TV title match. But we'll talk about that in just a second. So HCH and Tadarius Thomas get the win. Next up, Shelton Benjamin comes out and he says Charlie Haas isn't here and I need an opponent, and he points to Cheeseburger, who's sitting right next to Kerry Silkin, and he tells Cheeseburger to get into the ring, and they kind of tease maybe they're going to have a match. And then Shelton ends up putting him over for, you know, standing up to Charlie Haas and all that good stuff. So and then out of nowhere, Mike Bennett hits the ring. You know, it's him, Brutal Bob, Maria, and they do a little back and forth. And this is a point where I think you started to kind of, I think not just you, but a lot of people started to grimace during this talking period. Because between the first segment and this, there had to be like 10 minutes of talking. Which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're sitting there, and it's, you know, a lot of it you've heard.
Well, you're
before.
sitting there, it's an eternity.
Yeah.
And then that's not something that ROH is. This is stuff you find on other shows. So
right, I didn't mind it too much. I mean, I prefer wrestling, but it's kind of like they were put in a very strange situation at this point with Haas just leaving all of a sudden, which.
But they had time to plan for that, Lex. When did that happen? A week ago? A week ago, right?
He quit on the 30th, so last Saturday.
And then on top of that, I mean, at least if it was leading to something, it didn't lead to anything. I mean, a lot of this didn't lead to anything. Like the whole thing that happened earlier with R.D. Evans. Okay, he could have shortened that, cut that out by a couple of minutes. And then the thing that happened with this, I just don't see how. I mean, Shelton went on and on and on for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then called Cheeseburger in the ring. He went off about 3 or 4 minutes with him. Then Bennett came in, and they were cheering for him, and then it was like he went off about 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah.
So then right there, you had about 12 minutes worth of talking.
Right.
And then they gave Cheeseburger the mic, and then he went on for probably about 30 seconds before he got knocked out. And then before you know it, was like, so this is close to 15 minutes that was just kind of just blown away.
Yeah.
Including the extra 10 minutes that went on with R.D. Evans. So that's probably about 25 minutes that was just gone and talking. That was a match not too far away from each other, you know? So
right.
It was just too much.
Yeah.
Just too much. I was dozing off.
Cheeseburger went off on on Mike, Bob, and Maria, which was fucking hilarious. And Cheeseburger got a right hand for his troubles. So he got I thought it was going to be a tag match between Shelton and Cheese and like Bob and Mike Bennett. He ended up getting carried to the back and everything. So his whatever he was doing was kind of
Wait a minute. He called her a cum guzzling gutter slut. That's what he called her.
Oh jeez.
And he had Shelton Benjamin's voice. It was like Shelton Benjamin projected his voice in the Cheeseburger, because you didn't expect somebody like him to talk like that.
Exactly.
This dude's about 120 pounds soaking wet. And he's like, Mike, your father, that cum guzzling gutter slut.
I don't know what it
And
was. That comment.
He knocked the shit out of him. Like,
Yeah, the comment about the father, like not necessarily the comment, but just the way he said it. It just got me. It just got me. But what I also thought was funny was Mike called Cheeseburger like a Shelton Benjamin when you leave him in the sun for too long. And that was absolutely right. He was it's Shelton with about 200 pounds off. So, all right. So this match goes on. It's like you were saying, and Wario was chatting with us. It was very much an entertainment match based on, outside antics with Maria and stuff like that. I didn't mind the match. It wasn't great, but did have some pretty funny moments, especially when Shelton almost got that jungle love. And,
that was the only funny moment. That and her getting knocked out. I could have did without that match.
I don't know, man. That was
I'd rather have seen CNC wrestle somebody.
It was CNC got their match with the war, but I think that match kind of took a lot out of the card, and it left filler. Of course, this wasn't supposed to happen. It was supposed to be Charlie and Shelton, which probably would have been a pretty good match. But we didn't get that. So whatever. I don't know what Charlie Haas's deal is. I don't know what happened backstage, so I don't want to comment on it too much. But if he left Ring of Honor high and dry and he really hit Grizzly, that's pretty fucked up.
Well, I want to. Did he? My concern is, did Grizzly get let go? So I'll be pissed if that happened.
Right. Earlier today, if you're listening to this on a replay, it's April 5th, Friday, and on Twitter, Austin Aries tweeted something about how Grizzly's been with the company for so long, and this is how they treat him, and they give him the shaft, and, hashtag no honor, and Grizzly retweeted it. So it seems as though Grizzly got canned. I don't even know if he had a contract or not, to be honest with you, though. He hadn't wrestled. He wrestled at the TV tapings this past time. But before that, he hadn't been there in a while, I don't think. Maybe like a dark match here or there. So, not a huge loss for Ring of Honor, really. But, I don't understand why, if Charlie Haas hit Grizzly Redwood, and then you fire Grizzly Redwood, a little bit later, Grizzly had to do something wrong, right? You would think.
No, I mean, we've seen stuff like this happen before. People do this nonsense firings. I mean, I hate to go off. Same shit happened to Matt Hardy. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody understands why. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it kind of seemed for a while you didn't think they were going to address the thing. And then Kevin Kelly just very briefly said something at the show. Not everybody. I mean, I know it seems weird, but not everybody gets online, and not everybody knows these things. Some people just tune into wrestling the old school, old-fashioned way.
Right. They
watch it when it's on, and they don't do Twitter, they don't do Facebook. You'd be surprised how many people aren't on Twitter and Facebook, etc. They don't know this stuff. And I'm guaranteed there's people that walked in there thinking that Charlie Haas was showing up. I don't know if they even addressed they probably didn't find out till Shelton said something.
Yeah, I mean, me as a fan, I kind of had a feeling that Charlie would just show up and either attack Shelton from behind and stuff like that. Because there were things that they did building up to this that was like, okay. I mean, this seemed like more of a work than Jay Briscoe's arm, and yet it seems to be the other way around. So,
Yeah, I thought it was too.
just goes to show you, as much as you want to guess or think you just don't. That's what happens. But Mike Bennett defeated Shelton Benjamin here. Mike, I think he's signing with WWE because he did a whole thing of I'm signing with, and nobody, Shelton hit him before he could say, or he didn't want to tell him or something like that. So he's probably off to WWE. Shelton is, I don't know if he's off to WWE or not, but he's probably done with Ring of Honor after this. And so, like
it made no sense for even one of them to win.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a throwaway filler. It's filler as filler could get at this point. So, again, I didn't mind it though. I didn't think it was a bad match or anything. So, the next match though was very good, and that was Michael Elgin versus Jay Lethal, and this was for the #1 contendership of the Ring of Honor World Title. So, winner of this, Michael Elgin, goes on to face Jay Briscoe for the World Title, which is that's gonna be an excellent match. But let's keep focus on this match here. This is my match of the night. Would you agree, or would you give that to one of the two main events?
I think it was the match of the night because it was actually the match of the night.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
I don't know about you though.
Well, some people,
I'm just giving you shit.
well, some people, this is valid. Some people think that if a title's not on the line, there's no way it can be a match of the night. So.
Are you serious?
Yeah, absolutely. I've talked to plenty of people that
That's
are like,
stupid.
well, the WWE Championship wasn't on the line, or they'll elevate a match because the WWE Championship was on the line or something like that. You know those.
Oh
people.
yeah.
I'm sure you've ran into them. So.
Uh-huh.
But no, this was.
Hey, real quick, if you hear me, like I'm not cutting you off. I'm hearing feedback. Like I'm hearing myself.
Oh, are you?
So.
Okay.
I think we're a step off.
Yeah, we are definitely. I know that there's a delay between us for some reason. I don't know what it is. It could be the streaming, but I don't know.
Well, everybody, we're not being jerks to one another. It's just we have a little bit of technical issues.
Exactly.
So
yeah. But this match, if you can watch it, find a way to watch it, because this match alone, I'd say, was worth the price of the pay-per-view. It was just ungodly how good it was. Spinning back fists, buckle bombs, elbow drops, anything and everything you can think of. They threw it in. They had the crowd with them the whole time. It's just fantastic.
Wario said something, and I gotta agree. I would not mind seeing these two have a little feud.
Oh yeah,
I really would.
Yeah, these are two guys that could have like a double face feud. That could work that at least. I don't know if you'd want to do that for sure. I know that there was a lot of talk of Jay joining Scum tonight. I don't know if that's something that you want to happen or just something you think will happen.
If he doesn't, well, at this point, I mean, I say Scum needs a strong person to lead the group. I don't think they have that at all. I think Carino's a voice, but as far as a talent, I don't think they have that. And I'm not necessarily saying that Jay has to be the person. I just think there needs to be something done with Jay Briscoe. I mean, not Jay Briscoe, with Jay Lethal, because he's had a couple of title shots. I'm not saying he won't get another one, but I just don't see that happening. And at this point, he needs a strong feud. He needs something that's going to keep him, relevant in this company, because right now it's not much. And he's one of those guys that if they don't evolve him or have him do something different, that people will turn on him. It was almost happening when he was TV champion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So they need to do something with him to keep him strong. Same thing with the Briscoes. I mean, people got tied up when they got their last title, when people were like, what the hell is this for? Because it made no sense. So, I mean, I know that, like I said, some decisions that are made aren't particularly popular initially, but I try to look at things a different way. That's why I was okay when Taven won. I was okay when Red Dragon won, because, I mean, it'll just kind of make sense for that to happen. I just feel like this right here, with them pulling off matches like that, that's going to be good. Because look at Roddy. It's like they have nothing for Roddy right now.
Yeah, he did the job to someone that's not even on the roster. So
that's the only one that threw me off. We were talking about that. That's the only match that I can look at and say I didn't see that one coming.
That was pretty. I didn't see it coming either, but I don't know if they're trying to like pump up Anderson for the TV tapings because he's going to be fighting Elgin, which I liken the match that Anderson and Roddy had tonight with the Finlay and Roddy match. So I assume that Elgin versus Anderson is going to be a lot like Elgin versus Finlay, if you use that logic. So
well, Elgin's got to win, and the reason why is because this guy he got a TV title match and a world title match in his back pocket.
Yeah,
two of those matches. I mean, I personally will. I mean, I want to see him go for the TV title first. That makes more sense to me. I mean, because if he gets a world title shot, what is that TV title win that he got? What is that? That really doesn't mean anything.
Right. What you really have to think about also is the fact that Anderson is from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and who knows what the agreement is. Like, okay, you put Carl Anderson over because we're about to give him a big push towards the the title, and you never know exactly what the deal is. I mean, ROH might send somebody over and they have to put them over. Who knows? I don't know. But that's just kind of what.
But do they have an agreement with New? That's Davey went when he was in New Japan, right? That's right.
Davey went to New
Everybody
Japan
else went to Noah.
Yeah, and so I mean, Anderson's from New Japan. They've got Noah guys coming in next month. It seems like they're spreading out and making all these friendships back, or getting all these friendships back that they once had and then just kind of threw away, which is cool. I was really worried because I thought the only relationship they really had was with Noah, and a bunch of guys just left Noah over this Kenta Kobashi situation. So it's good to see that they are with New Japan too, because all those guys just went to New Japan. So, and plus that opens the gate for Alex Shelley and guys like that to return to ROH, because I know everybody wants to see Shelley back in ROH. So. Alright, so that's it with Elgin and Lethal. The next match was just pure chaos. I couldn't even follow what was going on. Scum, which consisted of Jimmy Jacobs, Jimmy Rave, Rhett Titus, Rhino, and Cliff Compton, defeated Team ROH, which was BJ Whitmer, Caprice Coleman, Cedric Alexander, and Mark Briscoe. Oh, and Mike Mondo as well. So, they just started brawling all over the place, and there was salt flying, and there was just a bunch of crazy shit going on. This is what I don't like about factions. I don't like these matches. I think, you could make an argument that they have a place on the card and this and that, but I don't like seeing these matches very much. And then Scum went over too, so I don't know if they're trying to say Scum's mid card is better than ROH's mid card, but ROH's top tier talent is better than their. I don't understand what they're trying to get at here.
Well, no, if they weren't clean, I would say that. If they beat them clean or not, that would have said that. But they cheated, so they didn't get the clean win. I'll say that. But once they lost, I knew Jay Briscoe sure was going to win, because I went in thinking he was going to win, and then you were giving me, reasons why maybe not. And then they showed the package with him in it. I was like, that kind of doesn't mean anything. They did the same thing with Davey in the final battle when he wins Friday. They kind of pumped it up like he was going to win.
Yeah.
But then once Scum won, I was like, it makes no sense at all for them to have Scum strong, and then Steen's got to lose this. So I don't really have a issue with factions. I just think it has to be done a certain way, and it can't be done NWO style. Where just guys just come in and cheat and do all this stuff. Just let them have it. It was just too much going on. It was just too much. Like Steve Corino just got up from that table when Scum was getting their ass beat, and then he just had enough of it. If anything, it shows how he's become like one of the strongest people in ROH. Because he went, once he got up from that table, he completely turned the tides for the whole match.
Yeah.
I mean, he beat the hell out of Caleb Seltzer. He started right when he stood up. He beat the hell out of this dude, beat his ass. Then he got in there and I mean, he just commanded the flow of that match after that point. And when he got ready, he sat back down like nothing happened.
Well,
So I mean,
Wario brought up an interesting point. Maybe it was you. I can't remember, but one of you guys said that it seems as though when Carino has his glasses on, he's a different guy.
Wario said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he has the glasses on, he's kind of like the.
What was it, Clark Kent or something?
I want to try to liken this to like the leader of a church with a different agenda, if you know what I mean. So it's this guy who, on the surface, when he has his glasses on, he looks like he's all talk. Then he takes the glasses on, or the glasses get ripped off, or takes them off. They get ripped off. He turns into a different dude. He turns into the wrestler, Steve Carino. So that's a very cool dynamic, and I think that's pretty much, for me, what's keeping Scum interesting. And that and Steen. And
it's totally him. It's totally him. And this Carino I can tolerate. I don't need to see Steve Carino wrestle anymore. I know you didn't have a problem with it, other people didn't, but I'm not a big fan of all these older guys doing all this stuff. You know, no, Steve Carino wasn't doing it for me. Not that Scum Tag Team Champions they had. I wasn't buying that one bit. So I'm fine with him doing what he is fucking amazing on commentary. You put a mic in his hand, and this is what the world needs to hear is him. Because this dude, you give him a microphone and that's it. That is fucking it. And you know what? He's putting these guys over. Hardy's going to draw his own heat. But guys like Rhett Titus and Cliff Compton and Jim Ray, they don't need to say anything. Just let him talk. See, they're doing it right with them. Don't let them say anything.
Yeah.
Let him talk and just send him out there to kick ass. Because you remove him from that group and no one's going to give a damn about Scum.
That's true. I was going to say something about Scum, but god damn it, I just forgot it. But anyway, Scum wins this match. Team ROH goes down. Rhino wins it with the gore. Oh, I do want to say that Caprice hit a hell of a pile driver that did not look safe at all on Jimmy Rave, and it was what it was it started out like a dominator, like Farouk used to do, and he brought him back down and just sat down and bam, spiked him right on his head, and Rave went bouncing, and so I'm glad Rave isn't hurt, but that kind of looked really reckless, so I'm glad that he's okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say they need to some of the things that happen in some of these matches. The thing about ROH, they do some of this stuff. I don't know how these guys' bodies can really take this stuff because it was one point where Elgin had what did he do to Jay Lethal? He went and did something.
Oh, it was the crossface transition.
Yeah, he transitioned that crossface, and I was like, damn. He came down hard on him. And then the same thing with Ken Anderson and Roddy. Which that's been happening a lot lately. He went to go do that. Ken Anderson came up too quick. And Roddy was going on top of him.
Not
and he broke his balls.
Not Ken Anderson. We want to be clear on that. Ken Anderson.
Not Ken Anderson. I'm sorry. Ken. Carl Anderson.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
But yeah.
Thank you for the correct. Yeah, thank you so.
No problem. We don't want to mislead anybody and think Aces and Eights is in the building. So, Caleb Seltzer got injured, quote unquote. I think he's okay though, because I saw him tweet about Jay Briscoe just moments ago. So. He seems to be okay. Nigel McInnes came out and did commentary for the rest of the evening, which was awesome because I was just thinking the other day about... I was watching... I forget what match I was watching, but I was watching something with Nigel on commentary. I want to say it was a pay-per-view because I went back and started watching the pay-per... I think it was Best in the World. And he just adds so much to a match to make it good. And I think back to Davey versus Elgin and him just going nuts and everything like that. So I'm really glad we got to see him back at least for half the show. You know, I know he does TV commentary sometimes, but it was good to get him here as well. So
Elgin, never know what Elgin though. Elgin too. This is becoming a yearly thing with him, putting on these matches. Still on the show on this weekend.
Yeah, the WrestleMania weekend shows.
Yeah.
And They even did promos about that, about how this is his time of year to elevate himself, and he does it. Of course, he had two great competitors with Davey and Jay, but he's just one of those guys you can plug in, and he has a good match with almost anybody. Of course, the smaller the guy, the better, though. It seems, at least, because then he can show off his strength a bit more. But the crowd, what I loved was seeing how Elgin's first appearance in New York and his appearance tonight, just it differs so much to the fact that they know the spots he's going to do and they get excited for him. They're counting for the stalling suplex. They're popping big. I think the biggest pop of the night, move-wise, was for that suplex that he did when Lethal was on the apron and he stands on the second turnbuckle. And they loved that. And it's not that difficult. I'm not going to say it's not that difficult. It's not that flashy of a move. It's literally.
I was surprised. He's done that so many times. I was kind of surprised they popped that way.
I don't think it was better than when, and I'll always remember this. This was the first pay-per-view we covered here on Ringside Report, and that's the 11th, or not the 11th anniversary, 10th anniversary show, where he fought T.J. Perkins, and T.J. did a dive off the top rope, and Elgin caught him in a suplex, and that was magical. So. Elgin, he just continues to pour out good wrestling, and that's why I like him so much. Carl Anderson defeated Roderick Strong. We talked about this a bit. They made Carl Anderson look really resilient because he kicked out of 2 sick kicks and gut busters and this and that. So they were trying to put him over pretty big, and he won with a pretty weak-looking ace crusher.
Yeah. I mean, I would like to have. This is one of those matches because they come out of nowhere. There's no build or anything to it. It's just a match. And again, for some people like us who were online and we dabble in other promotions and stuff, we know who he is. But other people, they didn't know who the hell he was. But it was a big deal made out of him. He came. So I mean, I really don't think a lot of people really knew who he was. I mean, if you had people there who were there for WrestleMania weekend and they were just checking out another show, they probably don't know who he is if they just, and if you have other people that don't dabble outside the U.S., they don't know who, this guy is. I was kind of excited to see him come in. I just, it wasn't a bad match. It's just,
no, it wasn't.
It was just something a little off. I was just a little off, and I think you probably can put it in better words than I can. It's just off to me a little.
It was a bit slow. I think it's truly a different style of wrestling, because in Japan you can do that. Like we got a rest hold, and it was a very long rest hold, maybe about a minute in, where Anderson just took him down with a headlock and just kept that on for another minute or so. And so it's a very slow start to it. And the finish was pretty good. They really got going and everything. It wasn't as slow as Finlay and Roddy all the way through, but I think this kind of felt like maybe a main event match. Like if you put that in the main event, you could understand going that slow at the beginning. Also, I've never seen Carl Anderson in singles competition. The only times I've ever seen him is when he's with Bernard. So. This was the first time I got to see him in singles, and he was okay. But again, you're taking mainly a tag competitor and putting him in a SuperCard match that fans are supposed to know, and that's kind of an odd move to say the least. So,
well, I'll say real quick that when Roddy's involved, it's very rare you're gonna have. I mean, Roddy puts on some. They put him with the right one.
Yeah.
Because even I remember when he went against Roddy. I mean, not even. You can look at this. They did the same thing. I don't know when it was, around what event it was. You'll have to remind me. They had Roddy fight Finlay. It might have been Border Wars, I guess.
Yeah,
maybe
it was Border Wars.
And then the next month, or like after that, they had Finlay fight Elgin.
Yep.
Then the Roddy match was a lot better.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think that Finlay and Elgin could find their, I don't think they could find their little thing going in that match. But the Roddy one was better. So I don't think him and El gonna have a bad match tomorrow, but it's definitely I don't think it's gonna be the same. I think it's gonna be a little different.
Yeah, I hope so. Again, not a bad match. I don't want to give that vibe at all. Um, I don't. I don't really know if there was a bad match on the card, really. So.
Yeah, it was. It was called Shelton Benjamin and Mike Bennett. I mean, I love ROH too. I'm not saying you are, but I'm not going to defend everything they do. If something don't make sense, it don't make sense. And that match made no sense to me. It took up way too much time. They sat there and talked. They wrestled for probably just as long as they talked.
The thing is, though, it's like I know when I see a match I hate, and it's just a feeling. And I'm sure you're the same way. And that was probably it with you. It's just a feeling. When you see it, it's like, this is not me.
Put it this way. When I go back and watch this over again, I'm gonna skip that match.
Well,
I'm not gonna sit down and watch that match again and be like, okay, because I'm watching the card, I'm gonna put my finger on this and I'm gonna skip over and go to the next one.
I mean, I wouldn't watch it again either, probably, but at the same time, it's not a match that I would go, oh, this is really bad. This is, I just kind of want to turn away. It had its moments, and you can't. I don't know if you can even really call it a match because it was just kind of chaos with different outside spots, and I don't know. It's really tough for me to pick out a bad match in Ring of Honor altogether, but I don't think.
What you mean on this card?
No, at all. Out of all the cards that I've watched, to think of a bad match, it's really tough.
You mean TV and you mean TV and
TV not so much. I'm thinking mainly pay-per-view. Because with TV,
nah, there was one that we saw. What pay-per-view did we watch that was not good? Was it 10th anniversary or something? Something that we watched was not good.
I can't remember.
Ring of Honor they've had their moments, Lex. They've had their. I mean, 2012. It might have been. Let me see. We started doing what? 2011. We did we watched Final Battle. The first one I watched with you, that was David. Yeah, 2012, that anniversary show. They've had some matches that just wasn't cutting it.
Again, I have.
They've improved since then.
Let me bring up the cards real quick and see, because that'll jog my memory pretty quickly. But I mean, all I really remember from the anniversary show was Elgin and Perkins, which was awesome, and then the main event, which I liked. Let's see. I probably wouldn't remember the bad ones because I'm trying to get them out of my head.
Was it Elgin and Perkins' final battle?
I don't think so. No, yeah, it was.
I think Elgin Perkins.
Yeah, because Perkins and Red teamed up at 10th anniversary, and that was awesome.
Anniversary, yeah.
Okay, so we had All Night Express defeat Wrestling's Greatest Tag Team. I don't remember that match. I don't think it was bad, though. Bennett versus Homicide. House of Truth versus Perkins and Red. I would say some of the Lethal Ciampa
They
matches.
had that Mondo. They had a Mondo Bennett match that was bad on pay-per-view. That was like an impromptu match where Bennett came out and he called Mondo came out and called Maria. He said he was gonna fuck her.
Yeah, I'll give you that, but at the same time, that's hardly a match because Mondo wasn't even in wrestling attire. Yeah, he was just in his street clothes. But I get what you're saying.
They ranked it up.
No, I get what you're saying, man. I'm just saying, obviously, this is harder to do than something with like TNA. If we were to say we could probably pick a bad match from every single TNA card that we've.
No, I know what you're saying, but then when you see, that's the thing though, because when we talk about that's different though. There's somewhere in between sports entertainment and wrestling.
It's all wrestling.
When ROH is pure wrestling, something. So I expect their matches to be matches.
Yeah, but they don't.
And I'm gonna hold them
to
a high standard.
They don't have to be pure wrestling. They're a wrestling company. They can be entertainment if they want to, and this and that. But I get what you're saying. You tune in.
Not the same. Like I don't pay to see. I'm not paying to see their stuff ever.
Right. I get you. I don't think.
Like if I cut them on, I know that if it's a 2-hour show, I know I'm fast forwarding probably through like an hour and a half of it.
Right. Well,
4
there
hours,
was a
15
time
minutes.
though.
You know, ROH, I'm looking at the whole damn thing. I'm even watching a little commercial over and over and over again. They continually show talking about with Eddie Edwards saying, you know, this, that, and the other. I'm looking at all of that because
Right.
I'm giving them my time.
Yeah.
But I will
Uh-oh. Lee?
up to what they could be.
I lost you for a second there.
I know. I hear myself cutting out. It's all good. Go ahead.
You want to finish your statement? I don't think we really heard much of it.
Oh, I didn't know what part I cut off on. I didn't want to repeat myself. Let's see. No. I was saying ROH is I hold them at a higher standard because they're actually wrestling. Like everything else, I don't take that stuff seriously. Like I'm not paying for it. I'm not buying anything. I'm not going to see it. It's like watching an episode of The Walking Dead or something. You know, I actually hold Walking Dead to a higher standard than I do those. But with because they have more of an entertainment aspect, and that's what got me tonight. Because when RD was talking and Shelton Benjamin was talking, that's not something I was used to, and that's what pissed me off. You know what I'm saying? So, but there were some matches that I just felt like they were okay match. Or I just put it this way: that Shelton Benjamin Mike Bennett match would have been okay for TV, not a pay-per-view.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Now it's basically.
I'm not saying it's a bad match. I'm saying it's a match that was not worthy to be for something that people pay for.
What you're saying is the backdrop, the background, dictates what you think of a certain match. So.
Well, it's got to make sense. It's got to make sense. Do you have matches that if they want to put two people in a match together and they say it's proven ground, they say this person is coming in from like Carl Anderson is coming in from Japan. Okay, this guy's coming in. You know, it's like to ROH fans, most ROH fans, I think ROH fans, they dabble, so they know, and they might be like, oh damn, here comes Carl Anderson, here comes the Tribal Hooligans, blah 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 blah. But that's okay for a pay-per-view. But to have Mike Bennett against Shelton Benjamin, there was no fucking reason to have that match, period. Like zero, zilch. And they talked all that time and they had that match and it just made everything look terrible. The whole, like, just like with Mike Bennett, and I think what happens is when ROH is in a situation when they have to wing something or fill time or whatever, that's when things get bad. You know, when they have stuff planned out already, it's fine. I mean, even Jay Briscoe and Kevin Steen, that match having very little build, like we said, it still worked, but you know, I mean, if they would have just out of nowhere, you know, he was like, oh, Jay Briscoe's going to fight Kevin Steen, you know. I mean, maybe they would have got the same reaction because people love Jay Briscoe. I don't know. I just felt like when Charlie Haas left, that match, even though that wasn't popular with a lot of people, once he left, they should have just been like, okay, Shelton, we don't need you. Or because who really wanted to see Shelton fight anybody?
I wouldn't say I wanted to, like, I wouldn't beg to see that. But
if
to see him
BJ
go
Whitmer
solo,
wasn't in that tag, it wasn't in that match, then it would have been okay with BJ Whitmer maybe fighting him just because, you know, he had that little thing with I mean, they just had a returning Mike Bennett, who's not popular to begin with. Shelton Benjamin, who the New York crowd already turned on those guys to begin with. So
right, it was a very difficult situation, but at the same time, you know, you can't really make excuses regardless. You know, you have to have backup plans in place, and there was obviously not a backup plan here for that. And so it ended up not making sense and this and that. So I mean, I think I understand better where you're coming from now after you kind of explained that situation of the backdrop.
They couldn't get Homicide? Where was Homicide at? Was he working for another event?
Homicide, I know that he's like retiring soon. I know that much. I don't know what he's doing though. You gotta understand.
He said the month.
A lot of people are booked because of this WrestleCon and you know, everything's going on now. So talent was probably pretty thin, and I mean, I would have liked to see someone like, you know, T.J. Perkins or whatever come out.
There you go. There you go.
That would have been cool. I mean, why not? T.J. Perkins is a great I know that he lives in Southern California and everything like that, and it's a long trip and this and that, but he's a talent that I
don't
really
buy that
miss.
shit with them, Lex, when they said that. I gave him benefit of the doubt with that, but when they signed ACH, who lives in Texas, then that's no, next door to California. So no.
Gotcha.
And the thing is with that, T.J. Perkins, I mean, I think what kind of made it awkward too was Shelton came out playing the face, and yeah, Haas did what he did, but if it had been a situation where he came in and he called Cheeseburger to the ring, which I thought he was going to attack him for real, and he attacked Cheeseburger, and then Bennett came out to. It's just like you said, no one cares. Bennett was gone for 3 months. Obviously the people there, they were happy to see it because I think what I thought and what I think the people thought was he was calling Cheeseburger to the ring to attack, and then Bennett came out to make the save somehow, some way.
Okay.
But this match just happened because I'm still trying to figure out why this.
I had a funny thought because the pay-per-view went on the air and they did the thing where they put the camera on the crowd and everything, and there was a guy there who had a Mike Bennett shirt on, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, I finally see a Mike Bennett shirt in the New York crowd, and he's not going to be, he's not booked anymore, and then Mike ended up showing up, so funny situation there.
He just wanted a pink shirt.
That too. I wonder if
they need to bring Willie Mack in for a match.
He's another Southern California guy, so maybe they just need to get their own jet, fly that shit out there, collect all them. Really, there's a lot of guys over here now, which it used to be pretty much a wasteland, but now I've got Drake Younger living literally
there you go,
like an hour and a half away from me right now. So those flights they're still not cheap, you know what I mean? But from what I've heard, Sinclair likes to just not do research on flights and just pick a flight and pay whatever. So they don't.
It's got to be that because Quack gets people to come over, and he gets people to come over to Chicago, and then on top of that, how do all these guys get the PWG? Are they paying for themselves, or
I doubt that. I highly doubt that. I don't even know. I don't know the financials of PWG, but it doesn't seem like they could make much money, if any at all. Unless they're.
I think they make a lot of money. I don't think a lot, but I think they make most of this stuff on DVD sales.
Oh yeah, that I'm sure of.
You can't find some of this shit at live shows. Like when we go to Ring of Honor, you got to be one of the first ones that's down there because their stuff is gone.
Right, Ring of Honor.
And then some of their stuff.
They sell their DVDs on their shop, so. They've got several outlets. I think High Spot sells them too, and this and that. So they have distribution to all these different websites. And I mean, I guess I could see it. They definitely don't make all their money from the houses that they draw because they have a limit on how many people they can draw every time. And it's not a very big limit, I don't think. So I do.
You know what, Lex? At this point, I'd rather have seen that tag match.
Which one?
I think I would have liked it better if it was Bennett and Bob versus. I can't believe I'm saying this because I could care less about Brutal Bob. I think I would have liked it better if it was Bennett and Bob versus Cheeseburger and Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah. I wanted to see Cheeseburger wrestle in some capacity. Like I wanted to see him get a roll-up pin or something like that. That'd be cool.
Be like a little whip rat.
Yeah, exactly. This dude's never gonna have a career. Well,
maybe that's why they got rid of Grizzly. He's a new Grizzly.
Yeah.
They can't have two.
I can't blame him for that.
They got a Hoopla shirt. Oh.
God, you love Hoopla. Speaking of Hoopla, Ring of Honor World Television Title match. Matt Taven defeated Adam Cole and Matt Hardy. It was elimination rules. I didn't know it was elimination rules until Matt Hardy got eliminated.
Me neither. What the fuck? Did they say at the beginning and I missed it, or did this happen after? Did you notice after the first pin?
I noticed after the first pin. I didn't catch it. If they said it, they said it, and I just didn't catch it. So, but I remember what I was gonna say way back about Scum. Matt Hardy's doing a really good job right now with playing his role.
He is.
Tonight, he literally cried tonight. Because he lost, and that was just phenomenal. And it was set up really nice because Cole basically did the same thing that Hardy did to him to win. Kick him in the nuts or what? What did he do again? I didn't catch the actual I just caught the pin.
Oh, he went heel Cole for a second. The referee was over there with I want to say Truth, maybe, and he punted Hardy right in his nuts and rolled him up. And Nigel saw the whole thing. And after the match, Nigel's all like, "It looked like a perfectly fine roll up to me."
Yeah,
Nigel's another one on the mic. You know what, Lex? And you catch everything that Nigel says. Like you don't miss a thing that he says. Nigel's one of those people. He doesn't change his tone when he's saying this stuff, and you could easily miss it. But he says some stuff. Oh man,
Yeah.
he got a nice little lap dance too.
Yeah, he did. What's her name? Scarlett Bordeaux. She comes out with Taven and Truth, and she kind of distracts. Now, I don't know. I don't know why she was doing that. Other than just to do it, you know. I don't know if she was distracting Nigel so that Truth could do something, or I didn't see that, but
Wasn't it two of them at first?
yeah, because they would do two hoopla hotties, and then Scarlett would be one of them. She started being one of them every time, and then now they're just down to Scarlett. So
Okay, because I know that she would. They got the Destiny's Child treatment. They just kind of just eliminating them. Because I remember at first Truth like, "Take your pants off," and they would take them off. But I tell you, you know what? It's so cool seeing Taven come out with. Taven has just he's fallen right into that whole gimmick.
Yeah, he loves
with no
role.
problem.
He loves his role. He's playing it well. He's
Did you see him shooting? Did you see him shooting comment at people as he won?
Yes, I did.
But
The thing about that, though, and the thing with the whole match is that people were looking the other way when he was doing that. Like, because there was commotion going on over here, there's commotion going on over there. Nobody was paying attention to the match at all. And so
from the beginning, because I think somebody got kicked out. So I think from the beginning that they started. You know, this match was weird from the beginning, Lex, because what happened was they were doing introductions. And I want to note one thing too. Adam Cole came out, and they still have respect for Cole. I think from that match that he had when he was there last time, and maybe some other people have seen some of his other stuff. Matt Hardy, of course, he got that boo, but at least he was getting the reaction. Somebody like Matt Taven, he needs to be TV champion because he needs that title to really make him serious. Because he wasn't getting any type of reaction, and I like Taven, but I'm gonna keep it real. They weren't booing or cheering for him. They just kind of. When they introduced, I mean, it's one thing to get cheered, it's one thing to get booed, but nothing, you know. So then,
like our man QT.
Oh, I mean, well, at least he gets toilet paper and hated and stuff. But it's sad when your manager is more over in a match. Like whenever RT stepped in the ring, they were like, "Yes, yes, yes, yes." Or QT came in, they booed him and heckled him, and I just feel real sorry about the guy. I don't want to read about he did something to himself because of the reactions he's getting. No, because it's that bad. Like Matt Hardy, like you said, he knew coming in what he was going to get. He's accepted that. Matt Hardy has money. He's not worried about any of this stuff. He could walk away today tomorrow. Somebody like QT Marshall, he needs this in some way, and he's gonna have to learn how to deal with it. This is worse than what Bennett was getting, and you know, I just with Matt. Well, what happened was they were booing him. Then someone must have been getting kicked out because everyone was looking at the crowd, and someone must have got a little too happy and they had to put him out. And then the match started, and then it was just all this confusion because. And this is what I'm not a fan of. You got 3 guys in the ring, you got 2 managers, and they had a mascot. Then they involved Kevin Kelly and Nigel. And the cameramen already are kind of fickle. They don't know where to kind of keep the cameras on the right action, wherever it is. So they didn't know what to do. They were showing Nigel and Scarlett. They were showing, you know, the person in the ring. Then they, for some reason, feel like they have to show these crowd shots all the time. And I just think we missed out on a lot of action we could have saw.
Yeah, but when you couple that with the fact that it's a triple threat match, and already that's just, you know, that's all kinds of fuckery at that point. It was just overdoing it, and I think it kind of seemed like a conscious decision. Like, you know what, this is gonna get overbooked, so let's just go all out and overbook it. Either that, or they just gave everyone free reign and say do what you want, and that's what happened. So. Yeah, I mean, this match I didn't really care for because it seems so out of order and, you know, it didn't make any sense to me. Again, I can't really call it a bad match, but definitely because of all the distractions that marked it down. Ring of Honor World Tag Team titles were on the line as Red Dragon defended against the American Wolves and retained. So Red Dragon keeps their titles, which I thought should have happened. Even though I'm a big American Wolves fan, I'm not a fan of quick title changes like this unless it really, really, really makes sense, and it doesn't here. So I'm glad Red Dragon. I love Red Dragon's new attire too. That was awesome. But I can't really speak on the match, so I'm going to give you the floor on this one because I was messing around with our audio and whatever. So, what did you think of this match?
I thought it was a decent match. I mean, it really started heating up towards the end. You didn't know for a second there. I thought that the Wolves were going to take it, and I was ready to say this doesn't make any sense, just for the exact same reason which you said, Lex. That just not being a fan of quick title changes and stuff. But I'm telling you, Davey Richards was on fire. Edwards was on fire. Kyle O'Reilly was a beast. Like I think Wario said, he was like he was flopping like a fish on some of those moves. I mean, the American Wolves single, they beat his ass. I mean, he took, I think you may have seen that part. I'm not sure, but they destroyed O'Reilly, and he kicked out of those moves repeatedly. And it just made it so good. All this is doing is what it should do. It's really making Red Dragon look very, very good before they drop those titles. And that's what it should do. They should like a threat. They should walk away. People should look at them like, okay, they're not champions, but they're still a threat. They're still someone to be reckoned with. Kind of like the Briscoes. They didn't need the belts, but people know you get in the ring with them that you're gonna fight. Like American Wolves. American Wolves are that way now. They don't have to have the belts, but whoever they fight, people are like, oh, they're gonna kick somebody's ass. Yeah. So this is doing what it should do, and it's working. It's not making the American Wolves look weak at all. That's the beauty of it, and it sets the stage for these matches to continue to happen. Not sure what they're going to do as far as next month. How they're going to work things out. I know they don't do these too frequently, but it would kind of be interesting to see this in a final battle in some type of ladder war or something. Yeah. But I don't know because, that's not something that they just hand out to anybody.
Right. You don't pull it out just for anybody. So I really like Red Dragon. The way these guys complement each other is just outstanding, and they make for a really good heel team, although they do kind of seem to me just like filler in a sense, and I think that's just because we haven't gotten to know them all that well yet, but we might as well get to know them while they're holding the belts, I guess, and have a nice reign there. So of course I hope
they look good with those belts too.
Yeah, they do, absolutely. Like when they first put them around their waist and everything, that was like, wow, that fits. That's.
I mean, even when they wear their gear when they're interviewing with their little Carlton Banks sweaters and
yes, the scarves and the thick frame glasses and.
I miss that, Lex. That's the stuff. Nothing that was the most amazing thing back in the day when I used to watch WCW or NWA, when the Horsemen would come out in their suits with their belts. Or Flair at least, and Tully Blanchard and all that. It was like, okay, there's a time for business and there's a time to be, and that's something that carried on through wrestling through the years. And it didn't work for everybody. They tried it with Samoa Joe and TNA. Certain people it doesn't look right on. Well, but with those guys, I mean, put it this way, I couldn't see Eddie and Davey have their style, and that works for them. But this preppy style that these two got, it works for them so well.
I think with belts, this might sound a bit cliche, but there's people who wear the belts, and there's people who the belt wears them. You know what I mean? Like, there's a guy that... I
got you.
Yeah, there's a guy, you see the belt on him, you're like, oh, that's his belt. That ain't nobody else's belt but his right now. The other guys, you see it like, oh, he's just carrying that for somebody else, And it's weird because it's not necessarily a talent thing. It's just the way they look with the belt, what else they have on, this and that. When you see Kenta Kobashi and he's got the GHC title around his waist and he's got the robe on so you can see the GHC title, but, just a little bit. It's just, it looks right, and I think it looks right on the Red Dragon here.
And that's right. The belt has to be worn. If you have a robe or a suit, you carry the belt. If you have a robe, it goes inside of the robe. Please don't
Yes.
wear the belt on the outside of the robe. I hate that. The belt on the outside of the robe. You have a suit on. Punk did that once in ROH.
Yes.
He had the suit on and the belt on the outside.
Yeah, he did that
The hell?
for his WWE contract signing, I believe. Then he took the belt off and signed the contract on the belt. But you know, there's certain guys that just they know how to carry the belt. There's other guys that are just like, I was given this and I'm not really sure why I was given this. You know, I loved when Davey was bringing out the junior belt from
Hell yeah!
Japan.
When he was wearing both,
Yeah, that was beautiful, and he had the robe on
he could
too.
pull that off though.
Yeah, it just he looked like a prize fighter, and it was awesome. And I think
But his robe wasn't a robe. His robe was a, like you said, just what you said. He like a prize fighter.
yeah, it was like
That's
a
it.
boxing robe or you know, MMA type deal. But it suited him. Like if he were to wear like a Bryan Danielson robe, I don't think that would have really fit him. But
That wouldn't have fit him at all. It's like what's his name? Rick Rude was the same way. He take it off and he tease it. Wait a minute, hold up. You don't get to see the belt. Yes, you do. You don't get to see the belt. Yes, you do. Like Undertaker. I was never a fan of Undertaker wearing a belt at all. Period. I know some people feel like if you're a champion, you're supposed to put it around your waist, but for his gimmick, Undertaker should always carry the belt in his hand.
agreed, definitely agree. Or or he would when he was doing the American Badass thing, he would wear it around his neck.
That's cool. Like Morishima.
Yeah,
I'm cool with that.
exactly, and it's again only some guys can do that. Other guys, those are for bigger guys. You know, if you try a
Doesn't
5'8"
Steen
guy-
carry it in his teeth?
yeah, I've seen Steen with it in his teeth before, and I've seen it around his neck as well. And the only place I don't think I've ever seen it is around his waist. But that's for
Yeah,
obvious
they didn't make
reasons.
one big enough.
You need a belt extender like Mark Henry had. So. ROH World Championship. We talked about this already. We both need to go back and see what happened at the end because as far as
I did.
you,
went back.
but you got to see everything though, or was it still?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so
Nope.
you did see the end. I haven't yet, so I can't really speak on it, unfortunately. I just all I can do is speak on Jay Briscoe as the champion, and I already said my piece. So the match as a whole, obviously you wanted Jay to win. Obviously, even though Steen's reign hasn't been that great, you're still a Steen guy. Did this live up to expectations?
Yeah, I have no problem with I really can't this moment. I have to go back and watch the match in its entirety because of
Right.
what happened. It's like me watching it in the YouTube video type format where I got to see 4 minutes of it cut off. I mean, towards the end, of course.
Right.
And I guess if I saw that live, I guess if the way me finding out he won just kind of ruined it. If I had cut it back on and saw it, it would have been like, okay, this is something. But it was like I cut it back on. It was like, oh, he just won, and I didn't get to see how or what happened. And I thought it was just me at first, and I wasn't going to be too pissed if it was just me. But then I found out it was a whole bunch of people. One of the things that kind of irritated me was people who, like I said, no matter who won, they would have been upset because they wanted Steen to be the champion forever. I think Steen is a good wrestler. His reign has not been the best. I would not even dare go on record and saying that he's one of the best wrestlers going today. But there are a whole lot of people. I don't know what it is with these wrestling fans. They look at some of these wrestlers and they're like, this person's the best in the world. That's far from it. Punk's not the best in the world. Steen's not the best in the world.
Right.
I mean, these guys that you may be able to, they may really captivate you, the things they do and say. But come on now, they're wrestlers that could wrestle circles around them. So I would not tag that on them. But people were upset because they were like, Jay Briscoe's a tag team wrestler. How many single matches he's wrestled? And for a tag team wrestler to come in there and beat the greatest world champion of all time, I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
So just hearing that kind of makes me get a little sour towards Kevin Steen having that because I'm like, I don't see what these people see to that degree. I've never once have I ever said Kevin Steen's the best. I mean, David Richards could wrestle better than Kevin Steen. Kevin Steen was Kevin Steen was just the person that the fans could connect with better. You know, some fans rather. And I just felt like if his reign was done different, I probably wouldn't mind. But it was time to see something fresh. Yeah. It was really time to see something fresh. And like I said, I'm okay with Jay Briscoe doing it. I agree with you 100%, Lex, looking back at it in hindsight, that having him do it at this pay-per-view just seemed kind of awkward, because I think a lot of people did not believe it was going to happen, because ROH, they went on this thing where they were booking Steen's title defenses like all the way into May. You know, they were like, okay, first you're going to, well, June, May, they were like, first you're going to fight Mark Briscoe, then you're going to fight Jay Briscoe, then you're going to fight Adam Cole, then you're going to fight BJ Whitmer. And people are like, well, I guess that means he's going to beat everybody, because they sure as hell knew BJ Whitmer wasn't going to beat him. So, you know, but this match, it started off, and I don't believe for a second Jay Briscoe was injured, or at the very, you know, I don't believe he was injured to that degree. If he was injured, at the degree that they were saying, Kevin Steen was giving it to that shoulder. He was giving it to him, like, in moves that if he wasn't injured, you know, it probably would have made it sore later on.
I just
his
feel like
family was in the crowd. He had it.
Yeah, I just feel like I can't.
Huh?
I just feel like I can't enjoy what happened because of how much it caught me off guard, and it's something I wanted to enjoy. You know, I wanted to really get into Jay and his chase for his first championship. So again, I'm complaining. I'm being a wrestling fan and everything like that. I'm overanalyzing everything, whatever. But you know, I look forward to especially to Jay's first promo as the champion. And it sucks that we didn't really get to hear him say much tonight. But I look forward to TV now.
They cut off his music. I wanted to hear the music.
Oh, when they said play the Skinner. Yeah, I thought they were gonna just leave, because I think technically they couldn't play that because of, you know, legal reasons. But it sounded like they were gonna actually keep the feed up and just let us listen in, but it went out. So, but yeah.
I think at that point they were just trying to. I want to say real quick that if anyone is up and if you did order the iPay-per-view, I know that when I went back and watched it, it was a little choppy. It kind of looked like if you were like on a DSL or something and you're watching it, it's real choppy. Like if you want to dial up, like if you're playing on 240. But if you go back now, because I just pressed play, you can go back and see the entirety of that whole match, and it's clear, just like the stream is clear when it was aired live. So I agree with you, Lex. I think that I couldn't enjoy it, but I couldn't enjoy it because of what happened. I went in believing that Jay Briscoe was going to win, so that's why I was different with me. Like, I didn't see any reason for them to pump Jay Briscoe up and have this. I mean, he could have just wrestled him in a house show for all that. I just didn't see. And the way they were saying Jay Briscoe could never beat the ROH World Champion, when I thought he was going to lose, I was like, okay, the only thing I can see him doing if he loses here is getting a rematch at what's it called, Best in the World, because there's nobody else. You know, I'm interested to see what's going to happen next month. I want to see what's going to happen.
Right. There's a lot.
We don't know if Adam Cole signed. We don't know if any of these guys are leaving. We don't know what's going on. We don't know if Adam Cole is getting a shot. What's going to happen? I mean, at this point, does the Steen Adam Cole match even mean anything? One thing I will note is that there was a moment when, and I don't know if you noticed this, but there was a moment in the TV title match when Steve Corino was in the ring, Adam Cole turned around, and Steve Corino was talking to Adam Cole, and he stuck his hand out, and Adam Cole was looking like, what should I do? He didn't just attack him. Yeah. So maybe he joined Scum. Which I can't really see because Hardy's on there, but you never know these days in wrestling.
Right, exactly. It's way too hard to predict everything. So let's cut the shit here. People want to know, do we recommend the pay-per-view? Do we recommend buying the replay, DVD, whatever? Do you recommend putting the money out for this?
Oh, I'm going to get the DVD when they come in June. I'm going to get it. So Jay Lethal one. Yeah, I'm going to get it.
You mean Jay Briscoe?
It wasn't bad. I mean, yeah, Jay Briscoe. I'm sorry. I got Carl Anderson, Machine Gun,
Kid Anderson and
Kelly, whatever. Then I got Jay Briscoe Lethal.
yeah, what the hell
You
are
gotta
you
come up
watching?
with different names for these guys. But yeah, cutting to the shit. Yeah, I would recommend someone gets it. I mean, stream looks good and everything. Watch it through in your entirety. I would like I said, $15 is you can't beat that. It's probably some of the best wrestling you're gonna see all weekend, and that's not just coming from us. That I mean, I'm just honestly saying that's probably the best wrestling you're gonna see all weekend. And I'll say that that Elgin Lethal match alone was good. Both of those guys. I know Lex wanted to really put over Elgin. That's his guy and everything. Jay Lethal did. He contributed to that match. He did good too.
Yeah.
But I'm just messing with you, Lex. I've been getting on Lex's shit all day about him and Elgin. But anyway,
Yeah.
that match alone was worth $15. Like that shit was that good. So if you got $15, get it. You can watch the thing. You can watch it for a year. I mean, you can watch it for a whole year. You about to spend $70 on a pay-per-view that's going to be 2.5 hours probably, or what, 3 hours. And when that shit's done, it's gone. Your $70 is gone with it.
I think they get 4 hours for WrestleMania, but a lot of that is filler. At least
if you want to pay $70 for a Diddy concert and Pee Wee Herman, just check it out.
Double A is in the chat, and he's asking if you're trying to say that his $70 won't be well spent. Actually, he said $69.99.
Well, he did that in tax. The cable company's gonna tax you, buddy. It's gonna be about $75.
Yeah.
I don't. For someone like Double A who's gonna love it either way, he's fine.
Yeah,
add to the collect.
I think for a lot of fans, it doesn't matter if WrestleMania has a good card or not. It's just one of those things. It's like the Super Bowl. A lot of football fans don't care who's in the Super Bowl. They're just going to watch it anyway. And they're going to use it as an excuse to celebrate and have a party, eat good food and stuff like that. So, I mean, I understand it from that point. For me personally, this will be the first year since WrestleMania 17 that I will not purchase WrestleMania or even watch WrestleMania for that matter because I just don't care. There's nothing on
And you
that.
know what, Lex? It could turn around and be one of the best WrestleManias ever.
Absolutely.
It could be. Like, we just don't know. It's just that I'm gonna be real. I've paid for one WrestleMania ever in my life, and I don't care who was wrestling on the card. I probably wouldn't be paying for WrestleMania because I'm not going to spend $70 on an event. I can't bring myself to doing that.
Right, it's a lot, especially compared to what we spent tonight. I mean, I was talking to my mom yesterday, and she was like, "Are you gonna watch WrestleMania like you usually do, your tradition?" I was like, "No, this is the first year I'm not gonna watch it, and I'm gonna get this ROH pay-per-view instead. It's gonna be good." And she was like, "Well, that's probably a lot cheaper, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah, it's $15." Her jaw dropped, and she's not even a wrestling fan, but just knowing that not paying that much, sometimes I don't understand how
you
wrestling.
You take that money and buy a game.
Well, hey, man, I've got my collecting going on. You know that. I'm hitting up yard sales tomorrow. I got yard sales going on tomorrow. I got up at 6:30 today, and I went down to the yard. My first yard sale I went to was fucking weird because I got there and I saw the lady and you look really familiar. And I started talking to her, and one thing led to another. But yeah, basically she's related to me. Like, she's my aunt's sister. And I was like, holy shit. And she was like, yeah, this was the fucking theme of the day, Lee, okay? This was the theme of the day. She's like, yeah, I've got video game stuff. I got, like, Genesis and stuff like that. I just don't have it here with me. It's in another town. That was literally 3 people today. And I've got 2 other people online that say the same thing, that they don't have it here in town. They've got it, though. And I'm just foaming at the mouth to get this stuff, you know? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know how it is, man.
You got games.
You're trying to fill up.
You got games that I want. You know that, right?
Well, I got what?
You got games that I want. You know that, right?
Like what?
You probably have
that Turtles game?
Yeah, that Turtles game. Turtles in Time. That is what.
Hell yeah, I got that shit. That's one of the best. That's the closest to the arcade. You know why? Because when that arcade game came out back when I was in elementary school, the actual arcade game, we would go on Saturdays to Crazy John's and play that game, and it was the I was a turtle fanatic, not from the cartoon, just growing up. I was a turtle fanatic, and that game was just so awesome compared to the NES version. I like the NES version, etc., but it was NES versus the arcade. So then they finally came out with Turtles 2 on NES, and it was the best they could do, or they did towards to try to get it to the arc. It was called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, the arcade version or whatever. Then when Turtles in Time came out, that was the closest thing that we got to an actual arcade game.
Yeah. Because
And I don't know what happened after that, but it was good.
yeah, the first game, even though I still like the first game is really tedious on the NES, and then the second game, like I said, was the actual arcade game that they had. And so I'm looking for all those. I've got the first one, and that's probably the one I want the least. So, but you probably have.
I have the first one, I have the second one, and I have
Yeah.
the fourth one. I never got Turtles. I didn't get Turtles 3. I have 1, 2, and 4.
And so you probably have a really good collection yourself. Just by keeping what you had.
It's stuff I had to go back and dig up, and we used to trade them back when I was young. I mean, when Super Nintendo came out and stuff like that. What happened was I was always a Nintendo fan, and when Genesis came out, people were they all got Sega Genesis. I didn't. I waited for Nintendo's Super Nintendo. So a lot of people, I would trade or buy whatever. We go to Funko Land, and it wasn't much to get those games that you always wanted and never got a chance to play. And with your little Die Hard Game Fan magazine. No, it was Game Informer, I think it was. But one game I still would like to play, I haven't played in a while, is Marble Madness.
That's an awesome game.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. It hit me one day. I was at work, and I was like, "Damn, I remember that game." But
see,
no.
I went through. I started cataloging my collection that I have so far, and I was pretty pumped to know that my most valuable game is actually one that I picked up last weekend at a yard sale. I picked it up for $1. It's worth $30. So that's if I ever wanted to sell it. If I get doubles of it, I'll sell it then. But this could be. This could pay for some ROH pay-per-views. So, who knows? And it's just people.
You know what? They don't have to pay for ROH pay-per-views. If you save $2 a day, you could get your ROH pay-per-views.
Well, they could pay for all that the live events that they put up that I don't get. Like,
again, if you save $2 a day, that's $15. That's $30. That's no, $2 a day. That's fucking $60. And you have that. You just can't go to Carl's, and you can't,
But
and once you get them, you're not selling some of that stuff.
No, I'll admit I'll only sell if I have doubles or if it's a game that I can do without for right now. Like someone posted on, like, we have this yard sale Facebook page for our town. Someone posted Mario Brothers game for DS. Now I'm not really into collecting DS right now. I have one and everything, but they were asking $5 for it. It retails for like between $27 and $30, and so I've got that up on eBay right now. And what that money's going to come back to me, and I'm going to use that money to buy more games and find something else that I can sell, and et cetera, et cetera. So I think I've got a pretty good system in place for all that junk now. But yeah, I'm trying to build a collection here, so I'm going to keep a bunch of shit. Just the way it is. But I love going to yard sales and hunting these things down. And I love talking up the people and everything like that. Hey, do you have any video games? No. Well, I got this PS2 over here. Oh, that's all you got? You sure you don't have any old games in there collecting dust or anything like that? Nintendo, Sega, any old stuff like that? Oh, well, I do have this. And they never put it out for whatever reason. I always have to go and ask them, you have this old stuff, and then they'll bring it out, and I'm like, okay, how about I give you like $1 a game? And that's how I get my stuff, so. It's good shit, man. Good shit.
Just had to post a picture. I just had to post a picture of me and Jay Briscoe. I'm so glad this day came. For all the naysayers out there.
Now you gotta get one with you and him in the title.
I know, but the thing is, though, I called this shit. This is 2 pay-per-views in a row when I didn't call some shit, Lex.
Yeah,
I called Matt Hardy joining Scum, Red Dragon, Matt Taven, Jay Briscoe.
I'm starting to wonder, are you booking for them or what? What's the deal here? I'm starting to think, man.
Because this is called making sense. It makes sense. This makes sense. I mean, it may not be popular, but it makes sense in the long run. And this is something that it's not just something that's like Sting. Sting being champion is popular, but at this point, it makes no sense for him to be champion.
Yeah.
This is called making a business decision, and this is what, you know. I don't know. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, we're about to find out. We'll see what happens now.
And when you watch those videos, Lex, you saw those videos, and like you said, they try to drag it a little long. They could have condensed it a little. But you watch this dude; he had many shots. See, that's the thing. A lot of people just watching ROH recently, and all they see is Jay Briscoe as a tag team champ. But he's had singles matches. He wrestled single when what's his face? Mark couldn't wrestle because he was too young, or he was injured, or whatever. You know, I mean, they fought each other, and it's stuff that you can see Jay Briscoe before he was, you know, Confederate flag waving Jay Briscoe, before he was, you know, Yo Boy Jay Briscoe, Jay Briscoe. Before all of that, you know, you can see him when he was wearing his, you know, his little singlet or little whatever it is what he was wearing, and he was like probably as big as Cheeseburger. Well, he was a little bigger than Cheeseburger, but
yeah,
he wasn't as big as he is now.
Wearing them singlets and everything, yeah.
And he looks good with that belt too. Like, that's the man right there, Jay Briscoe, boy.
Yeah, he looks.
But
like
the thing is, like
boxer.
people said, now what happens to Mark? And well, you know,
what does happen to Mark?
Mark is still a damn good wrestler. He can go get that TV championship.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, he does. Like,
I got a feeling that his first defense is going to be against Mark Briscoe at I just have a feeling one of his first defenses it's either going to be a Steen rematch. Well, it can't be a Steen rematch because Steen's fighting. I don't know.
Well,
we'll see.
Briscoes haven't tagged since they lost the titles, have they? I don't think they have. I think because they've been doing solo stuff.
They tagged in Baltimore at the TV tapers after.
Okay.
Was the TV tapers after? Let me see. No, TV tapers were before or were they after? I can't remember what. Well, it came across on TV after, but they've tagged.
Okay.
But
all right. Well,
you know what? No, you know what? I take it back. I don't think so because he got hurt. They didn't do TV here last. They did TV in Cincy. Didn't Paul Jordan go?
No, they did TV in Chicago.
Chicago, that's what it was. I'm sorry. They did TV in Chicago. And I don't think that was the next night. So no, you're right. They haven't tagged because he was quote unquote hurt. But I don't know. We got to see what happens tomorrow night. And please, you got to give me spoilers because I won't be able to get them. I won't be around.
Yeah.
To look them up.
I should be home, so I'll get you some spoilers and everything. So in honor of the late Roger Ebert, we give this pay-per-view 2 thumbs up. And by the way, that's a major.
He died?
Bummer. Yeah, he died. He's dead. He's dead.
When did he pass?
He passed 2 days ago, I believe. Or was it yesterday?
You know what? I saw a picture of him and I thought someone was making fun of him. I thought it was a mask because I didn't realize how they had reconstructed his face.
Yeah, his face got completely messed up. His jaw missing.
He looked like Howdy Doody. I'm not trying to be funny, but.
But he was.
You know what? That came out wrong. Please, anybody listening, please don't want to show any disrespect. No, I'm serious. I wasn't showing any disrespect. But if you look at, he looked like what's those things you sit on your lap and you throw your voice? That's what he looked like. The way they just reconstruct his face.
Yeah, ventriloquist dummy. What was cool though?
Ventriloquist looks like it.
He was still doing movie reviews, so he was. You know, like I don't know. I was typing up movie reviews or something like that. I don't remember what he was doing to do it, but he was
not on that show. He wasn't.
No, not on the show. No, he stopped doing the show. I want to say he stopped doing it like around a decade ago. Maybe a little less than that, because he did it with, of course, Gene Siskel, and then Siskel passed away, and then he did it with a bunch of different people, and then Richard Roper came in and they did it for a little bit. And then Ebert left, and it was Roper's show, and now it's dead. So, Yeah, that sucks. Cause even though I don't agree with him all the time, he's shaped our culture quite a bit. Him and Siskel with the whole thumbs up thing and uh, making a platform for movie critics and all that junk. Cause they weren't really as
Well, yeah, because there's a lot of movies that were not that bad, but if they said it was, they suffered.
yeah. And Wario says he looked like Binky the Clown from Garfield and Garfield and
See,
Friends.
so nobody can say I did anything. Nobody can say that I did anything because Wario. See, why? He don't know what to say out his mouth. He don't know what to say out his mouth. That shit ain't funny.
Oh gosh. Good lord.
But hold up, if anybody's watching, go on YouTube and put in his name. What, did he have, a flesh-eating disease, or did he just have cancer in his throat or something?
I'll bring up the picture. It's a little better. Yeah, I don't remember exactly what he had. It wasn't pretty though. That's for sure. That is for sure. By the way, if you haven't seen it, go on YouTube and look up. I don't know what to search exactly, but Siskel and Ebert, they're cutting these promos for TV, right? And then in between each promo or each take, they'll say something like they'll have a conversation, but it's like a really racist conversation, and it's like them making fun of each other and stuff like that. It's really funny. Roger Ebert. That was back from like the 80s or something like that. Oh gosh, there he is. Okay, let me.
Oh, CZW had a show last night too. I didn't know that.
Everybody's having
But
a
then
show.
the result.
Evolve and
Yeah,
that.
I tell you what, AR Fox went on the Evolve Facebook page, and they are not happy about that.
Yeah, I heard people saying that the show was shit.
So it was shit, and they said they weren't happy with. Some people weren't happy with him winning. They were like, I think they wanted either Callahan to win or I think Gargano might have been in it. They wanted him to win, but they did not want AR Fox to win.
You can tell
So.
that AR Fox is Gabe's boy. You know, he's
Kevin Steen put him over. He was at PWG.
Mhm.
Kevin Steen had put him over. So he was like, the thing is that a lot of people don't get to see those guys because the fact is that he said more people probably, and it's true, more people probably saw him on PWG than they saw him in Dragon Gate or Evolve because, well, you heard me send the thing in the group page today anyway. I had to ask Wario what the price was because you got to be signed in and logged in even to see how much the show costs.
Oh really? Wow.
Yeah, like you just can't find out how much it is. You gotta, because they had, let me see, they had a show tonight, Evolve show. Then tomorrow they have a Dragon Gate show. No, tomorrow morning they have a Shimmer show. The next day they have an Evolve show. Then they have another show coming. I forget what it is, but you couldn't see any of the prices. So Wario, send us results for the Shimmer show because that card actually looks pretty decent. I would like to see that, but I won't be home to see it.
Yes, indeedy, busy men indeed. But
We don't discriminate. It's not just ROH. We like all different. We like good wrestling.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Lex is undercover. He likes NWA Hollywood. He likes what's that Ohio wrestling that you like?
Oh, Prime Wrestling. I haven't seen Prime Wrestling in a while. I don't know what's up with them because I used to get the sports channel from Ohio on my Dish network. I don't have Dish anymore though, and that was actually pretty good. It was really low budget, stuff like that, but it was actually pretty cool. So, yeah, the only wrestling that I can really motivate myself to watch at the moment is Ring of Honor. And even then, I'm starting to slack on episodes, but I think that's because of my collecting addiction that's flaring up right now. So, spending other time on that. But if you have,
I can watch PWG and Ring of Honor, and I gotta see PWG. Like I gotta see those shows. I just have to. It's a must.
I've been watching.
There's no question. I've
been watching a lot of Japanese stuff on YouTube and stuff like that. So,
Yeah, that too. That's some good stuff.
Yep.
People gotta. You can sit down and watch it. It's like the whole event's 3 hours long.
Oh yeah, and we linked that stuff in the Facebook page as well. So, which brings me to that's a good segue. If you haven't already joined the Facebook page, go to facebook.com, search for the Ringside Report, and join our group, our little family there, and have fun with us and post some good wrestling. Because, like Lee said, we're always looking for wrestling. So if you know of some that maybe we don't, just go ahead and post it in there. We don't discriminate. You can post videos in there. You know, we're not gonna get mad at you for bumping anything down or anything like that. Just post videos. We'll watch them, and you know, I won't promise that they'll get comments or likes or anything like that, but I can promise that.
Yeah, who knows what you post? Because I posted something today, and
yeah,
Lex and Double A ran with that.
For those that aren't a part of the page, Lee posted someone getting their cyst cleaned out, and that was like it was like that Cheese Whiz, you know. As soon as you popped it, it went.
Oh God!
They broke out the Ritz crackers and had themselves a good time.
I'm hanging this call up. That's disgusting. Don't compare it to a food. Don't compare it to a food.
We're talking about maggots and stuff inside the wounds and everything.
That's gone too. Yeah, you gone too far.
Facebook.com.
Please, you know how I feel about maggots, man. Please don't. Maggots are like that's my kryptonite. That's the most disgusting thing that you could ever. Oh God.
I'm sorry, man. Go to facebook.com/Ringside Report to join our group. Actually, don't go to Ringside Report. That goes to a different group. I'm sorry. Go to facebook.com/groups/Ringside Report. That's a different group altogether. Also, follow us on Twitter @Ringside Podcast. This is how you know when we're going to go live with these shows, and also how you know when we put them up on the YouTube page. So follow us on there, and talk with us and all that good stuff. Also, our YouTube page is where we store all of our past episodes. I'm working on getting more of the archive up there. So now that I got faster internet, it's going to be much easier. But go to youtube.com/Ringside Report TWR and subscribe to us there. So I think that's it for now. Lee, do you have anything else that you want to get out there before we head on out?
No, thanks everybody for listening to the show, to download, for support, and that's pretty much it.
Yes. Order the pay-per-view, the replay of the pay-per-view, and watch that Elgin and Lethal match. That is a contender for match of the year at the moment. Definitely could be beat. It's not untouchable, but it's very good. So, yeah, I think that's going to do it for us here tonight.
Oh, real quick, how would you compare that one? How would you compare that match with the Davey match from last year? The Davey and Elgin.
I think I would give Davey and Elgin the nod because...
Well, of course.
Well, because at the time Elgin was kind of unproven, so that was like his breakout performance. So that added a bit to it. Nigel on the call added a lot to it. I think overall I'd have to go back and watch that match to really say as far as the in-ring wise, because in-ring Lethal and Elgin might have beat it. So I don't know. Wait, I just realized was a year old tonight. I was at the Double A is remembering that he was at the WrestleMania ROH events last year. So, and
that's right.
Yep. By the way, this
big ups to Double A. That's my man.
By the way, this
Can I plug?
Yeah, plug the rant.
Double A, that's my man right there. If you know what I think, if he lived in Baltimore, I lived in Florida, we'd been best friends going to WCW or the shows coming up. That's my man right there. Listen to the rant on Tuesdays, 8 a.m. Sometimes you'll catch me and Lex on there because we love the.
My cohort means 8 p.m. Don't show up at 8 a.m. because you won't hear anything.
I'm sorry, 8 p.m. You know why? Because I'm sorry, everybody. You gotta excuse me because it's 1:30 a.m. here right now, so it's late at 8 p.m. Yeah. So Yeah, check that out, and I guarantee you'll have a great time listening.
Yeah,
Guarantee it. Guarantee it. I don't miss one.
yeah. 8 p.m. Eastern Time, Double A, Problem Child, giving you all the latest in wrestling news and breaking down Raw, and also throwing in some very entertaining stories from their personal lives and what's happening around the country. Which, since I don't watch WWE or anything like that, that's my favorite part of the show is hearing all that junk. So. Alrighty, we're gonna get out of here, folks. Thank you very much for joining us live. For everyone in the chat. And if you're listening on the replay on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe if you have not, and share it with someone. I'm sure everybody that listens to this is a part of different networks of wrestling fans, different group pages. Throw us up on there. I know that we made a youngster a fan not too long ago, and he gave us a shout out on his video. So thank you very much to you, sir. And I'm sure I'll link your YouTube page in the description and everything. So even the youngsters are getting in on Ringside Reports. So.
One more thing.
Yeah.
I got one more.
Shoot.
I want to say thank you to Lexicon. I want to say thank you, sir. We've been doing this for a year and a little over a year.
Yes. Yeah, we didn't
a
get
year and a year and about 3 months. So
we didn't get our proper 1 year anniversary because we were kind of floating around at that point. So we're gonna have to do something. I don't know what. We're gonna have to do something though for our 1 year celebration as a podcast. But hopefully that's gonna lead to many more years, and we'll be doing this well into our 50s and 60s and all that junk.
we'll be like Double A. We have 300 episodes.
Yep.
Because I was going back listening to some old rant episodes, and y'all two were off the chain. That's some good stuff. You can listen to it just like if it was going on today. And it's funny hearing some of your predictions and stuff, and of what's going to happen, and
How
like
awful and
saying
wrong
stuff
they
like,
were.
in 5 years this person's going to be blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, sometimes that person is in that position, and sometimes they're in a totally different. It's funny. So
Exactly. It's just us just talking, just not knowing what we're talking about, just talking. So check out the rant, check out us, check out anybody else who's cool and everything. If you want to shout out here at the end of a Ringside Report, all you got to do is let us know and be a nice person. Come around and chat with us and all that good stuff. So tonight was SuperCard of Honor 7. It was a very good show, but we must depart now. So until next time, until episode 48, which I don't know when it's going to be, but hang around and we'll give you the update on that. For Lee, I am Lex. Good night, folks.
papers.